Welcome into the Runners Recap with Rod Barnes. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. We are now in episode 3.
3.
3. We're still getting started, but we're getting a little bit closer to the season. So where's your excitement level as you kind of near the start of the season?
I'm really excited right now because we just finished our Blue Gold scrimmage, and now our next couple of games is kind of preparation for the season. But now we get a chance to play other people to kind of see where we are. So as a coach, you start getting really pumped up during this time.
I can imagine. And speaking of being pumped up, we got an exhibition game coming up for you guys against Long Beach State. So what are you expecting to come out of this game? What are you hoping to see from your guys? And what do you expect, too, on the other end from Long Beach State?
Well, for our guys, just playing another opponent and having a lot of guys that this is their first time on the court. So as a coach, you try to prepare for everything. There'll probably be a lot of good stuff happen. There'll be some bad things that happen. You just try to learn from it. That's why you play these games this early. The second thing is with Long Beach State, I think they have 6 seniors that are returning from a team that most of the guys were starters on that team. So they're probably going to be a little bit further ahead of us as far as execution and knowing what each player do, especially with the starters. Hopefully our bench can be an impact. And, you know, you always go into these games and you always want to win, but one of the things you want to learn a lot about your team and find out your strengths and your weaknesses. So it's usually a win-win situation, especially when you're playing against a team of this caliber.
So exhibition, as always, going to be used as a gauge for you guys. Yeah. But when you look at the new faces on the team, who's already kind of standing out for you? I know last week we were talking a lot about the returners that are taking on those leadership roles, but the young guys, who's kind of making a name for themselves already?
Taze Moore. He's a guy that was out for us last year, played for us as a freshman, but he redshirted last year, and he's really been practicing well. And I think one of those guys that we feel like can impact the game a lot on both ends of the court. And then Darius Williams is the other kid that's a 6'8", 6'9", that's a forward. That's really skilled, and both of those guys I think have been probably more impressive than anyone that new guys on the block this season.
And you mentioned it just a little bit ago, but talking about the bench, I wanted to ask you, I don't know if you have your starting 5 already, if you want to reveal that to the world yet.
No,
we're not going to do that yet. But talking about the bench, though, and I think, too, with the speed you're trying to implement this year, the bench is going to be a very important role. But you tell me, how important is it to see the guys coming off the bench be able to make a difference, especially with offense as well?
Well, that's part of the first test I think we've got to pass. I mean, I do know what about 4 of our players played a lot last year. I know what to do and know a lot about them. But then we have some new guys that are in, so those guys will be coming off the bench. And what you want to hopefully see is there's not a big drop-off, you know. And you hope that you can find a couple of guys that can be really impressive with that second unit. And hopefully we have prospects for that, but we'll find out a little bit more on Saturday against Long Beach whether those guys can really do it in a game.
Absolutely. And we kind of have talked a lot about the local guys. I brought that up, I think, in our first week. And to talk a little bit more about them, coming from Ridgeview and Liberty, we have Justin McCall and then Jeremiah Dickerson. What do you see from those 2 guys so far for all the local fans out there that might want to come see their local guys doing it on the next level?
Well, first of all, Justin McCall is really improved. He played a lot last year as a freshman, and you know, he has a chance to be in that rotation of the 9 or 10 guys that we're playing. I really like his athleticism, and we're trying to, you know, hopefully develop him into a great defender because of his athleticism and strength. And then Jeremiah Dixon, let me make sure I say that he's a driller. He's from BHS because in this community, the Bakersfield High School guys, now my son is from Liberty.
Okay,
so
that's where I got Liberty. Okay.
But that's okay. And well, hopefully my son plays this year because he's really been a contributor as far as someone that's been a big cheerleader but a good practice person. And he's really continued to work on his game. But Jeremiah Dixon redshirted for us last year. He's been playing point guard. He's had a really, really good off season as far as last year training, and he comes from a very good program. And Coach does a great job at BHS. So we're excited about those 3 guys. And as you said, hopefully people will come out and support us having 3 guys that play here in the city.
Yeah, absolutely. And no mean to skip out on your son. He's just entering his last year, so I was like focusing on those younger guys.
No. Well, I didn't want either of us to get in trouble, because if you say Jeremiah Dickinson is from Liberty,
I know,
we would get in trouble. So
thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate all the help I can get out here. So.
Okay.
We talked a little bit. I try to get you to reveal the starting 5. You're not going to. No. But when do you usually start to see that kind of take set and take form? Is it going to be right before the season, or is that something too you kind of expect to change throughout the course of the season?
Well, normally by this exhibition game, we would probably try to have 4 of the 5 positions in place. This year it'll be a little bit different, because I think our depth, I think we could change from game to game. Not necessarily every game, but it just depends on size and athleticism. And I think we are very versatile in the way that we could play. So I'm not sure that we'll have just a starting 5 at the end of the season, because I think if the guys do what we're expecting them to do, it could change from night to night, which is probably a nightmare for sports people, that every night you got a new starting lineup. But I just think for this team, that may be our best way to be successful. And we always want to win in the end. So if we've got to change the lineup to make that happen, we want to keep all of our guys involved. There's a lot of parity there as far as athletic ability and talent. So hopefully, if our plan to work to play fast and play with a lot of depth, that we can make those changes that are needed.
So the coaches will be working hard to get those lineups switching around there. But sure, as you said, a nightmare. It could be a nightmare for your opponents if they don't know what to expect. So I can see it both ways.
Yeah.
And to talk a little bit about what we've seen so far, we saw the guys kind of ball out for the blue-gold scrimmage. Yeah. I am wondering what you were thinking. We were talking about the Dunk Fest heading into it. Absolutely was, which was a lot of fun for me to watch.
Yeah.
What did you see from your guys, and what made you excited about what they were able to display?
Well, first of all, we had some guys that had been hurt, like Taze Moore, who ended up being in the finals of the dunk contest. So you feel like he's really healthy. I thought it was, I told our coaches, I thought it was one of the best dunk contests that I've seen. I thought it could rival some of the NBA just by the number of dunks they had and the athletic ability that they show. But I didn't want to get hurt. So I would look, and then I would close my eyes. I would look and close my eyes and try to react to what the fans was cheering. So, but I like our athleticism, as I've said, and I think people could see we're a very athletic team.
Absolutely. I saw it. It was really fun to watch, but I kept looking at you on the sideline to be like, oh, he doesn't look too excited.
Not excited about that. Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of talent for sure across the board. And what is that like as a coach to have that talent play out? I'm sure that makes it fun in practice, high energy practice, I can imagine.
Yeah, it does. And that's the way I coach. Those are the type of athletes I like. I've been talking about it for years, that hopefully we can get to the point that we could kind of get past the recruiting point and get to selecting. And when you can select, that means you kind of anticipate each year. The names will change, but the athleticism will be the same. Mm-hmm. And we're getting closer to that. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting closer to that. So I think people will start to see how fun and how exciting this kind of basketball is.
Absolutely. And maybe you'll help me out and show me some skills, get me a little better out there on the floor.
Well, I mean, the reverse layup was good. Just got to get a little bit more spin on.
Yeah, he helped me out the blue-gold scrimmage before, but third time's a charm.
That's it, sure.
All right, Coach. Well, we are going to switch gears into the breakdown with Barnes, put you in the hot seat. I got some good questions for you here. So first question, after watching a fun blue-gold scrimmage, what's your favorite move out there on the basketball court to see either your guys pull or something that was like your go-to move when you were on the floor?
I was more of a passer, so I like no-look passes. That's kind of my thing, that I kind of think people would be excited to, as a point guard, to make a pass and people go, wow, I mean, that was a great pass. And then obviously you want the guy on the other end to complete it, whether it's a dunk or whether it's just a good shot, a good layup. But passing to me is so important and so underrated.
All right, dishing out the dimes. I got it. So, second favorite sport behind basketball?
Football. College football. Let me make sure I say that. College football. I love college football. I just love the excitement across the country, and just being an SEC fan, obviously, it's kind of part of what you do on the weekends, watch, or you go and attend football games.
I agree with you there. And I know we're in the Central Valley here, but SoCal or NorCal, what do you favor?
Oh, that would be hard for me to say that on air. Central.
That's the point. You're in the hot seat, but
I am.
I'll accept the answer.
There's some great things in North and South LA. South Cali. So I'm a Central Valley guy.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll take it.
Right?
We'll take it. Okay. And we're approaching Halloween, of course. So what's your favorite candy or treat?
Oh, probably Hershey's. I'm a Hershey's guy. Reese's Cup is probably second, but I'm a Hershey's guy.
Okay, cool. And then this is going to be a tough one. This is the fifth and final question, but it's a two-parter. Your favorite sports memory when you were playing and your favorite sports memory as a fan.
Oh, as a fan, okay. My favorite sports memory as a player was my sophomore year in high school. We won the state, and finals, we played a team we had played against before, and we ended up winning the state tournament. So that was probably
pretty cool.
My favorite. As a fan, oh wow, that would have to be tough.
A lot of good basketball over the years.
Basketball over the years. I don't want to say the shot that Diedrich shot here to send us to the NC. No, they turned because I was the coach. So
coach and a fan.
I was just the best, definitely a fan of the shot. Oh, I would probably say Magic Johnson's rookie year of winning the NBA championship with the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay, pretty cool. And again, we'll see what LeBron can do with the Lakers this year.
Yes.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you once again for joining us. And this is the Runner's Recap with Rod Barnes. We'll be back next week.